Morning. I just took my first steps. I had to go turn off the fan in the bathroom, and I like bear crawled over there. I'm gonna talk about that. And then I just took a few careful steps to get back in here. Let's go. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm feeling pretty good this morning. When I woke up, I laid off the side of my bed. This position for me, trying to bend my knee, for some reason, it just like really doesn't feel supported. I can't really achieve a whole lot. Maybe it's a limiting factor of my hip flexor, not really sure. But when I sit in a chair, yeah, you can still see me. We're starting off hot. I can start to get a little bit more, you can't really see, but we start to get a good bit more flexion. So that's where I'm at with flexion right now. I did want to use that as a check-in point. So the reason I talk about where I am with my progress is because I really want to help you know where you are as well and what kind of things you should be doing. So when I talk about where I'm at and so like where I am in flexion, if you're not quite there, just use your range of motion. Or if you're a little bit more than I am, use your range of motion when we do activities for flexion. And same with extension. Right now, like I have a pretty good, if my toes rolled out, externally rotated, I can achieve a pretty flat leg. If I roll it to the inside, again, that's where the incision site is, the graft site, I think is what they call it. So it takes a little bit of warming up to kind of get that straight. But that's where I am on extension. I think it's getting fairly normal, so that's really exciting. Oh, it's kind of warm in here. I'm gonna turn on the fan really quick. I'm eating my applesauce because I've been hungrier than normal, which is normal because your body is doing a lot more to repair. So I'm trying to stay on top of my eating, and when I do my morning recordings or my rolling or whatever, like my morning routine, I get really cranky and then I take it out on my mom, so she keeps feeding me in the morning. Oh man. Oh, that's a light. Whatever. That's gonna make it hotter. Watch this. Yeah. Whew, that is really hot in here. So look at that. That's pretty stable. My swelling isn't really bad. Like it looks pretty comparable, except for like right here in the quad. But again, I'm going to talk about what I've been doing in order to be able to achieve the stability and control of my leg. So that has been a huge factor in being able to get back to being able to use it fairly normally, as far as like walking with my crutches. So I still am using 2 crutches as of yesterday. I'll probably still use 2 crutches to get down the stairs. But I'm gonna try to wean myself off onto 1 today. That is the goal. So, what do I want to start with? What was I talking about? Flexion, extension. Okay, I think we're good to get going. So, what I've decided is I'm gonna do these videos every other day. I have one that took a really long time to upload. My phone is feeling very overwhelmed by the amount of work it's doing as far as like uploading and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out a better process for that, but that one should be coming today, and then this one will be posted tomorrow. But my goal is to do every other day. That way I can spend a day feeling it out, trying to figure out what exercises I can do and teaching myself. And then I come the next day and teach you what I've been doing and what worked, what didn't, whatever. So yesterday's video, I talked about some hamstring exercises that I tried to do and they didn't work out too well. So I want to come to you with things that I've tried that maybe don't work and what that felt like that they didn't work, so that when you do something, maybe that's an exercise that you want to try and you kind of feel sore afterwards, if it's okay or if it's not okay. Because there are exercises that you can do that'll benefit you without making you sore. So that's what we really, really, really want to focus on in our recovery. When we're healthy, it's okay to get sore a little bit too much. It's something that we can manage. And when you're injured, same thing. If we do too much one day and or I guess I'm not gonna we on you. If I do too much one day, it's gonna be okay, because I just need to slow down and take some time to let that catch up, whether it's getting unsore. So today my hamstring definitely feels a lot better from Monday, and it is Thursday. So it took a couple days, but it's definitely feeling better. But yeah, that's kind of my goal, is to spend a day working on stuff, teaching myself, doing my exercises and figuring out what's working and what's not and how it's working, and then be able to come to you and communicate it the next morning. And then maybe we'll pick up the pace as I get more confident in getting back, but right now I'm just trying to take it slow. So yesterday I foam rolled for the first time. I kept it on my back. I tried to foam roll my hamstring, but it started cramping a little bit, so it's just not ready. I think this is pretty intense on that. So yeah, I just really rolled out my glutes, my back, and then a little bit of my left leg, my uninvolved leg. So we'll just start with that. Grab your foam roller, and we'll take care of the rest of our body, and then we'll get on our giddy up for that injured leg. And I just let my heel slide. That's really, and so if you're on hardwood and you want to put a towel under your leg so that it slides better, or if you have somebody that can come support it and help you out, do that. If this is not comfortable, then I would suggest maybe grabbing a tennis ball. And I did want to talk about these two things. So this is just a regular old tennis ball. You can use a lacrosse ball, baseballs, probably softballs. They're not my preferred method, but people use them. So if foam rolling isn't comfortable for you, this one you can do stationary. So if I pick a spot on my back or my butt, I can just sit on it like this. Oh yeah, I got on the spot. I'm good, man. And you just sit, and that way you don't have to roll or try to use your leg to support you. So if you don't have the same support that you need for foam rolling, don't worry about it. We got options. There's always an option, and that's why I really want you guys, if you're following along and you're trying to get yourself rehabbed, put stuff in the comments, and I will help you find modifications for some of the things we do. So if you feel like, she foam rolled today and I really just didn't feel like I could foam roll, put it in the comments, and I can respond, and I'll say, hey, try using a tennis ball. You don't have to roll as much, and you just put it on the spot, and boom, you have a modification. So don't ever worry about not having a modification. Most of the time I can figure something out. That was actually like one of my specialties, is working with injured athletes, because during college, and I wanted to reintroduce myself because there's so many people new to the community. But when I was an athlete in college, I was injured a lot, and because I was constantly overtraining, I wanted to be the best, and so I figured the more hard work I could put in, the more time I spent in the weight room, the more time I spent at the gym, the more time I spent running, more time I spent on the track, the more I was gonna get better, but I overtrained myself, so I was constantly hurt, and then not doing the things I needed to take care of my body afterwards. So I learned a lot of modifications, and then also learn to have a heart for the people who are injured, because a lot of times they get neglected, as far as like there's just so much to take care of on the day-to-day, and support staff are very overwhelmed, and so sometimes they don't get the modifications they need. So my goal when I became a strength conditioning coach was to make sure that all of the athletes that came in with injuries or needed modifications for whatever reason, that they had what they needed in order to still compete at a high level, just in a way that they could. So if you need modifications, I got them. It just takes getting creative, and sometimes people just don't have the time to do that, but I made sure to make it a priority. So that's why when I tore my ACL, I was like, okay, I know this is my call to get back to strength and conditioning, and help as many people as I possibly can through YouTube, which I had already been setting up and doing something completely different. But yeah, so long story short, this was something that actually brought me back to strength and conditioning, brought me back to something that I like mastered truly. I mean, they say 10 years to make a master, and I've been in strength and conditioning. I mean, I was an athlete in college and then went straight into coaching. I coached through college. I was an athlete my whole life, and so It's something that I've been doing for so long, and I was trying to get into different, this is turning more into podcasts, but yeah, I was trying to get into other things, and this was truly my expertise, so it feels good to get back. I was just really burnt out from the lifestyle of a strength conditioning coach, and I was scared to get back to it and just wanted to leave it in the past, but here we are. We are back. So that is my story. Welcome to everybody who's new. That's who I am. That's what we're doing here. This is one of my favorite contraptions as well. It's easy to make. It's 2 tennis balls, okay? 2 tennis balls taped together with athletic tape. You can use duct tape. You can use whatever tape you want. Probably not Scotch tape because that wouldn't work, but you just tape them together like this. And it has the same effect as the bubble roller. You can, I normally use it for your back, so you kind of put it on and around your spine, and you can just lay on it. Same thing. You don't have to roll. You can roll on it, but you don't have to roll. So if you don't have access to a foam roller, go to a tennis court, grab some tennis balls, steal some tennis balls. I'm sure they're in the bushes somewhere, or just order them on Amazon. They're like a couple bucks, I think, maybe $7 max. Not too bad. And that way you don't have to go anywhere, because if you're like me and you have an ACL, you're not really moving very far, very fast. So, okay. Anyway, back to rolling. We're just gonna keep it quick. Just start to move the blood through, loosen up the muscles. I really spent some time on my hips just because I've been in kind of a sitting position. I'm gonna roll up a little bit more. And again, if you need some support, you can kind of help support your leg like this. I'm kind of squeezing my muscles a little bit in order to protect my leg from sagging. Oh, that feels good. And just a little bit on both sides. But I'm mostly using my arms and my legs to move me, or my leg, just the one leg. Oh yeah. Which makes it a little complicated when you go to the other side, but that's okay. It's not as relaxed, but it still does the job. Okay, that was really complicated. Go ahead and slide down to the other hamstring. If you want to try your involved leg, hamstring, your injured leg, go ahead, give it a light little roll and see how it feels. Again, for me, it kind of started cramping a little bit, so I'm just gonna stay away from it today and continue with like a self-massage. If you want a little bit more in-depth about self-massage for your injured leg, my video from yesterday, we went into detail with that. And it was a little progressive relaxation. So today is going to be a little bit more focused on exercises. So if you guys are not feeling up to that, you can go ahead and leave this video and go back to that video. That one is more focused on relaxation and just trying to get your body calmed down and feeling good. I'm mostly pain-free. So I took 2 halves, so a whole pain medicine last night, but I haven't really taken anything during the day. The previous night, I took 1 half twice over the night. I woke up in the middle of the night and took a second half, and then I woke up in the morning and took a half, and then I don't think I took anything all day. So I'm weaning off my pain medication, so my pain is definitely subsiding, excuse me, and my body's feeling a lot better, so feeling a lot more full of life, movement. Oh, and yesterday I did, after the video, oh no, I didn't do a video yesterday. Yesterday I foam rolled, and then I did a little upper body workout with an orange band. So very small, skinny band, just kind of did some pull aparts, some like bench press a little bit, chest press, whatever you want to call it, since I don't have a bench. But yeah, I kept it really light, just wanted to move my muscles and kind of get them activated without making too much damage, making too much soreness for my body. And I definitely felt my energy just kick up all day. I felt really good. By the end of the day, I had done a lot with my leg and my body, and I had run some errands and went out, not ran some errands, but me and my mom went and got coffee and went to the store, and she went in. But that's like still kind of a lot. Getting in the car has been fairly difficult, just because all the bumping and moving, stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm mostly off my pain meds, so that's why I'm feeling pretty good. But if you're in a lot of pain, I would suggest going back to the video from yesterday or some of the earlier videos to calm down your pain, and then when you're feeling better, you can start doing these stuff. But stick around if you want exercises to start moving the pain, for sure, because I would say these have helped a lot with swelling and getting me back to stability so that I can start to use it, which also helps subside the pain. So, okay, I have my sticky note of things. I'm trying to be a little bit more prepared so I don't drone on, but here we are. Okay, the thing I started with is laying on my belly. So, something that I did to support my leg was put a pillow under it, okay? So if you're sitting here, maybe this hurts your knee from the scars, put something under your knee to squishy, or put something into your foot to help with, if you're not at full extension right now, I would say continue to support your knee by putting something under your leg. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that just to show you. Again, like I don't have quite full extension, but I definitely have close to full extension. Look at that bruise, gnarly. Okay, so see, I was able to do that, and so I've been, at first I just, ooh, but I can't do that, ow. Okay, I just tried to roll my leg. It's weird what kicks it up, so sometimes it just like tightens up and it feels like a cramp, and that doesn't feel good, so I try to back it down, but most of the time it feels okay. But what I started with here is kind of working some of my calisthenic exercises into it. So my hands are firm on the ground, my elbows are right underneath my shoulders, and I'm starting to lift my rib cage, okay? So I'm starting to activate my belly, start to activate my shoulders. I'm thinking about pushing my shoulders out of my ears. Yeah, you can kind of see that, okay? Pushing my shoulders out of my ears and then squeezing my abs. And so right now I'm just starting to develop my core muscles, which is really important for balance and coordination. So as we're starting to get back to trying to walk or lessen our crutches, we really need to make sure that our core is solid. So then I start to press my chest forward and squeeze my shoulder blades down and back. Again, pressing my chest forward, using my back muscles to slide my chest forward. I'm thinking about pulling my elbows towards my feet, but again, nothing moves. You can kind of see a little activation there. And then I'm gonna let the squeeze from the upper back slide into the middle back, low back, and then maybe I'll squeeze my cheeks, my butt cheeks, get a nice contraction in there, and then go ahead and relax. So I've just started to add safe contractions to easy positions. Like this is an easy position to sit in. It helps the blood come out of the back of my leg because we've been laying a lot. So all the blood is going to our backside. We need to move it to the front side to help bring nutrients to the front muscles, to the front organs, all stuff like that. And then start to contract our back muscles in order to start to stabilize them and bring them to life again. So then I'll come back and I'll arch my back or elevate my back, push the ground away using my elbows, my forearms, my hands. I'm really squeezing my abs. My rib cage is locked down into my core. And then we're gonna relax forward. Squeeze the chest forward, squeeze that upper back, shoulder blades slide down the back, squeeze together. Big deep breath. And then relax. And I just kind of do that throughout the day. Just whenever I'll be like sitting here and I'll do some work, and then I'll slide into that and just kind of activate. And then I do it throughout the day, or you can do it like as an exercise, maybe do like 10 reps of that. And then go to something else and then come back and do that a couple times. So up to you. And then I'll be sitting here doing work, and then I'll start to squeeze my glute muscles. So you can either squeeze your hips down into the ground, or you can start to add some work with your adductors. Again, this is something you're gonna have to feel out So I'm gonna think about squeezing my feet together, and maybe my feet don't move. And squeeze as hard as you feel comfortable. So you can add just a light little squeeze of the feet together if that's comfortable. And then I just felt my hamstring kick up, so I'm gonna relax it. And I have a hamstring graft, so just depending on where your graft is, this may not be a comfortable position for you, and you may need more cushion and support, whatever you need. I'm working off a hamstring graft, so some of the things I'm gonna do may be a little bit different for you. And again, that's where the modifications come in. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments and I can help you there. But yeah, so then I just kind of alternate back and forth, maybe squeeze my glutes and my hips down into the ground, because that one still feels safe for my hamstring. And then I'll pull my elbows and I'll start to squeeze up my back, and then drive my chin back, tuck it into my neck here, so I get my neck activated as well, and then relax down. And I kind of walk my hands out so I can stretch my lats, and maybe I'm trying to walk my fingers, oh, you can't even see that, I'm trying to walk my fingers like this to stretch things out, kind of create space in my upper back, and relax my legs. So those are the exercises I kind of do from my belly. And the last one I just remembered. So I found this protocol. I didn't like the protocol my doctor gave me. It seemed very sped up, and also it just wasn't very clear about the things that I needed to accomplish in order to move forward in certain phases of my recovery. So I found one that I really liked. And the first 4 weeks, your focus is getting off the crutches and getting 90 degrees of flexion. So one of the exercises that they gave was assisted hamstring curls. So I started using my other foot as assistance. I put it under, as I hope you can see, that my left leg is under my right foot, and I'm just using my left leg to lift my right foot. So I'm not activating my hamstring at all. And again, this is a pretty hamstring specific exercise. If you had a hamstring graft, this is, you want to do it passively. So meaning your leg is not doing the work, other things are doing the work for it. And so I'm pulling it up, and this is about as much flexion as I have, and then I'm gonna lower it down. Again, really trying to focus on using my left leg. This one took a lot of focus yesterday because I wanted to get my right leg activated into it, but I really wanted to keep it passive and out of it. And if anything, if it's feeling good, which I don't know if it's there yet, but you can use your involved leg to slowly contract as it lowers down. So again, it's up to you, however you're feeling, just keep it as passive as you need to. But if you want to get the other leg involved, it would be on the going down, the eccentric portion of it, because the eccentric portion of it, your muscles can take more weight. So that is going to be the first thing that comes back, is the control out. The contracting in is going to be one of the most difficult things. And you can even do little holds too, excuse me, if you feel like that's good. So maybe keep it here and then try to lift your right leg, but again, very, very gently. So I'm not even squeezing, I'm just thinking about lifting my right foot off of my left foot. And again, not squeezing my hamstring, just giving it that little activation and like a cue to think about. So if you're feeling good, you can start to play around with that. Again, these are all exercises to just sprinkle through your day and see how you feel. If you get fatigued, then stop. If you feel cramping, stop. There's no need to push it any further. If we push it too far, we fall back. So like I said, Monday I pushed it too far. It took me to Thursday to start to feel better. So and even want to really use my hamstring again. And I've been walking and trying to loosen it up and do things to help the soreness go away, but it did probably put me back a little bit. So being mindful of our boundaries is really, really important in moving forward healthy and making sure that we move forward well. So that is my belly exercises, is what I'm calling them, my belly activities. So when I am laying on my stomach doing work or whatever, those are some things I try to incorporate. So when I am sitting doing work, I'm normally also stretching or doing a little like posture exercise, squeezing my shoulders down and back, maybe stretching my arms out and stretching my chest. I'm never really sitting still. So if you are having to go back to work, there are ways to continue to get your rehab exercises in, or if you have to go to class or whatever activities you have to participate in, those are some things you can continue to do to help move forward your recovery. The next thing, okay, so flexion is one of the things that I am benchmarking. According to the protocol that I found yesterday, you want to kind of get, I think it's at 120 degrees of flexion. I don't know how I feel about that, but right now, I mean, if I let it relax, this is about as much as I get before I feel a stretch in the front of my knee, okay? We're working to 90, and the reason you want to stop at about 90 to 120 is the site of the ACL reattachment. I don't know what goes on in there, but this is one of the questions that I had and didn't necessarily get answered until I read this protocol, was how much bending can you do before you injure something or mess up something in the graft, okay? So this protocol said about 90 degrees for the first 4 weeks is going to prevent you from squishing anything or moving anything around. So that made me feel really comfortable finding an answer to that question. But as you can see, this is 1 week and a day later, and I think I really probably won't have to worry too much about getting past 120 degrees of flexion by the end of 4 weeks. So the next thing that I wanted to use as kind of a check and a benchmark for our recovery is leg lifts. So one thing that the protocol said and my PT said, and one thing I know to be true, is quad control and leg control is going to be your biggest indicator of being able to walk. So trying to get a leg lift in has been pretty difficult, so I'm getting my quad squeeze, but trying to lift my leg, you see how like I want to lift my knee and then I can kind of start to lift my leg. Okay, this is getting kind of hard. So you see how much I had to bend my leg before I could really lift it. That's okay, but that just means my quad isn't activating like it needs to in order to bring the whole leg with me. So that's something I've been working on. I've kind of been trying to like think about lifting my foot off the ground and then just seeing where it goes, just making sure that my quad stays activated the whole time. So as long as I can keep it squeezed, I'm gonna lift, and then that's about as much as I can get while it's squeezed. So I'm just gonna keep it there. I'm gonna squeeze and try to lift my foot, and then maybe it's just an isometric squeeze right now, and I hold it for like 3 to 5 seconds and then relax it. So again, if you need support, one thing that has been good for my quad has been having it supported by something, and this is just a blanket, but you could use a pillow or a soft foam roller type thing, and then squeezing my heel up just a little bit. And again, like some of the pain in the front of my knee doesn't really allow me to do too much, but I'll just sit and play with it like this and just kind of try to squeeze my knee into the blanket and lift my heel off the ground and squeeze my quad. So the more we can get that quad activated, just play around with it, and slowly but surely it'll start to get better. The internal lift of my leg is pretty much non-existent. Again, my graft site is right here, so that's kind of why everything's still very tender, very shut down. I've heard, and I assume it's true because of what I've experienced from my hamstring adductor area, if you got a quad graft, your quad will be significantly shut down for a little while. So just being patient with that, and again, adding these little exercises, maybe just even like bending my knee a little bit. So straight leg is going to be the hardest thing you can do. Bent leg is going to make it easier. So right now I can kind of lift, and that's going to get some adductor work. I don't have to lift my entire leg off the ground, I can just come in right here and start activating those muscles a little bit without pain, okay? So right now I have no pain. If I were to try to lift my whole leg, woof, okay? So that's kind of what I focus on. Just getting a couple leg lifts there until it gets tired, and then I will come back to it later. So I just do a couple reps, like that would be all I would do. And then later today, this afternoon, when I'm laying on the ground, need a break from my work, I'm gonna come back to these exercises and do them again. So there's no need to like go overkill, you know? For the back side of your hip, rolling over is kind of tough still. I would again do the glute squeezes. I'm not lifting my leg off the ground because that would be far too intense for my hamstring right now. So I literally just squeeze my glutes, or I can integrate this exercise, okay? Again, I already did a couple reps like that, and I'm kind of overdoing that. 1-2 reps is totally fine. If you can only get, that's what I started with yesterday, is 1 rep of those. And then I was like, okay, I'm good. That was a good movement. You start to unlock the movement first, and then you can start to strengthen the movement. So have patience with yourself. The first, what word am I looking for? The first motion or strength that I felt like I had was the outside of my hip. So I can get a little lift right here. I'm trying not to lift it too high, because once I get like up higher than this is a restriction, okay? So the weakness here kind of lets my leg flop around, and I don't really want to do that too much. I want to keep it in ranges of motion that I can control. So right here, I feel really strong in, so I'm going to keep it here. I may slide it back a little bit, see what that feels like, get more into my glute, and then maybe I slide it forward, see what that feels like, get more into my hip. So I just literally will sit around, again, doing my work on the ground. I will start to lift and play around with some different motions, and then maybe I just take it forward and take it back. So a lot of Pilates-esque hip motions, hip strengthening. Those are some things you want to start incorporating. So adductor squeezes is something my PT recommended, very gently, but okay, I'm starting to be able to do that. So maybe that's where I start. So I couldn't lift it off the ground, but if I can slide it across the ground, back and forth, then that's what I start with. So there you go. You just saw me discover a new movement that I can start to incorporate. And okay, maybe I'll only get 1, and that's okay. So I can start to incorporate that through my activities today and start to strengthen those muscles. So that is what I want to teach, is helping you explore your body and seeing what kind of things work for you, and how I am only a genius in the fact that I have been doing this for many, many years. I've studied the human body. I've touched so many people in stretching them and working with them on exercises. I've seen so many different kinds of bodies, whether it's a general population of adults, young athletes, collegiate athletes, professional athletes. I've seen so many varieties of athletes and humans, and that's what makes me the expert. But what exercises I do come from playing and exploring and trying to see what's hard and what's easy, and sometimes I want to see what's hard, so I challenge myself. But right now I want to see the easiest things I can possibly do to create strength and flexibility, mobility, whatever it may be. So yeah, that's why I want to give you my expertise by helping you find the best ways to figure out what your body needs. Ooh, bear crawl. Okay, I already mentioned the protocol I'm following. I'm gonna put it in the comment section or the description or whatever. And it's hamstring graft based. So if you don't have the hamstring graft, if you got the patellar tendon, if you got maybe a cadaver or the quad or whatever you had, maybe search the same website. I think it's some kind of health or hospital or something like that. So it's a good website to follow. That's what you should look for, is maybe more like article-based, like scientific article-based information for your protocols for your knee. So that's gonna go in the description. But lastly, I am so tired of my crutches, and I know that you probably are too. It's been a week, we've been on our crutches, they get caught on crap, and they're just clumsy, and you have to set them up on something, and they fall, and you have to like scramble over there and wiggle over there to try to like pick them up. I'm so done. And that's my motivation to try to start walking, is because I'm like, I just need to be done with those crutches. Just a brief intermission or interjection about my brace. I am wearing that, and this is what the protocol kind of said, and maybe I took it a little bit too early, but it's been fine for me. Not wearing it around the house, so I wear it to go up and down the stairs. I wear it when I leave the house, if I go anywhere, do anything. But around the house, if I'm sitting around, I take it off. It just is very heavy and clumsy, and it was putting pressure on my leg that was unnecessary when I was sitting, you know? I don't wear it when I sleep. I wore it for a couple nights just because I needed to remember that I can't just roll around and do whatever with my leg. So if you're a heavy sleeper, I would probably suggest keeping your brace on as long as you need to while you sleep. But if you're a pretty light sleeper like me, whenever I go to roll over, I wake up. And so then I'm like, okay, I gotta roll over and think about my knee and how to move it. So I'm aware of when I'm rolling over. So I would say that don't take it off too early. I would wear your brace as much as you need to feel comfortable. It is something that, one, prevents any accidents from happening. So accidents happen, right? So like that's why I put it on when I walk down the stairs and when I walk up the stairs. I want to make sure that everything is safe, and if I slip on the stairs, that I'm not going to injure my knee further. So, but when I'm laying on the ground, totally fine. There's very limited risk, and it definitely is more comfortable. I feel like my leg can start to move around, and I can start to squeeze and not have the pressure of the weight of the brace. So just something to think about, and I want to give you as much information to think about so you can make the best decisions for yourself, because while I am here for you, I am distant. I can't put my hands on the body and help you figure out what you're going through. I don't know your medical history. I don't know everything I need to know about you in order to make the best decisions for you, and that's just the nature of the beast on YouTube, right? So I want to give you as much information to think about as far as progressing. If you're further along than me, I want to give you information so that you can start to progress yourself, and then if you are not as far along, that you can modify things in order to do some of the same exercises to help yourself continue to recover. So that being said, that's why I try to give as many recommendations around options, modifications, that you can choose what is best for you, and you can try things, and if they don't work, that's okay. That's okay. They'll work in the future. So, or maybe that's just not for you. Whatever. Everybody's body is different, so it's totally okay if something I say works for me doesn't work for you. Okay. But back to crutches. I am so over them. So I started bear crawling. Okay. And we've worked from this position a little bit before. I'm gonna come over here, and this is actually a position that I've started to work out of too. Planking, trying to keep my core engaged, keep my glutes squeezed here, and then just trying to push my knee up to the sky. That's getting me a really good quad activation right now. I'm not going to lift my leg off the ground because that would be so intense on my hamstring that it would just not be helpful. But what I do is I get my hands in the calisthenic handstand position with the thumbs facing forward, fingers facing out. I get my hands under my shoulder, maybe a little bit wider than my shoulder, and then I use my left leg, my uninvolved leg, my non-injured leg, to push myself up. And one, this is just a good position, down dog, to stretch out your calves, stretch out your hamstrings very gently, and then keep as much bend in your back as you need to, in order to keep it light on your hamstrings. So one thing with this one, I would say you probably have to have the pre-existing flexibility to get in this position. So I know some people have really tight hamstrings off rip. I am not one of them. I would say moderately flexible. I wouldn't say I'm anywhere special, but I can sit in this position comfortably. And then what I do is I just take little baby steps like this, and it works my shoulders. I try to think about pushing the ground away, really getting good scap space between my scaps, upper body activation, upper back activation. And this is just a really good exercise to start doing too. Again, make sure that you have the quad control and leg control to be able to do this, but it's definitely something that's helping me get a little bit more control of my leg. When I first started it, it was a little bit more difficult. I had to take smaller steps and I went shorter distances. And not that I'm going like really far, my apartment's not that big, but it is something that I've started to take bigger steps and feel more confident in, because it's one, stretching the back of my leg, which is really, really, really good for you. And it's also activating as I step. So I'm still having, I think when I step, probably 2 or 3 other sources of stability. I don't know, like things in contact with the ground. So just like your crutches are 2 more pillars on the ground. I don't know what structures of support. The word is slipping my mind right now. Your hands act as that. So you still have the same support, but you're using your leg pretty significantly to move forward. So and then you don't have to touch your crutches, and it's good for your arms and working. Like I said, and if you're new, my goal by the end of my recovery is to be able to do a handstand. And I started to be able to sit in a down dog comfortably for a fairly good amount of time, like maybe like a minute or so. But that's where I was in my handstand. So I can't hold a handstand. I could probably hold it against a wall for not even 30 seconds. So my goal by the end of my recovery is to be able to get a stronger handstand, and then hopefully be able to like actually hold myself up in a handstand. So that's why I want to start incorporating some of the upper body stuff, upper body elements, upper body stability, and being able to walk in the down dog. It's beneficial for my knee, for my leg, and it's also still helping me get that calisthenic bod. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to discuss today. Let's wind down with a little stretch. This one I would say be careful about. It's something that I was able to do yesterday, mostly last night. But again, just feel what you can. If you need to support your leg and coming up, we're gonna just lay back, but I'm gonna take my leg with me because it is probably not going to be able to lift itself. And take it across my body, again using support, as much support as I need. I'm going to come all the way down and just get a nice twist. And then because we're pretty limited in our activities, a twist is really important for your back mobility. Oh, almost spilled my walnuts everywhere. And then just relax. And if you need to support your leg with pillows, do so. I've put my foot on my couch before and just tried to relax into that when I couldn't get this much range of motion. So just find what support works for you. Relax into the twist. Take your chin and look over your right shoulder. And big deep breaths. I'm going to go ahead and come out of that position because for some reason it is kind of irritating my hamstring right here. So I'm just going to hold my leg, maybe allow it to, again, this is the kind of self-exploration I do. So that, I wanted to do it, but it didn't really work for me. I couldn't relax into it because of whatever is going on with my hamstring right here. So I'm gonna come here and just let my leg relax into a little bit of flexion and pull my knee into my chest as much as I can. And just kind of slide it around. And I'm definitely supporting my hamstring with my hands pretty good, kind of giving it a little squeeze for stability. But that just may be a little bit too much for right now, and that's okay. We'll go to the other leg, and I'll show you what I would do on the other side, and if you can do that today, then do that. But again, I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of a little tired maybe, because it's been a pretty good squeeze today. All right, little hamstring stretch. Maybe you can't see it, but I'm rolling my ankle, making circles with my toes, going one way and then the other. And even this is stretching the front of my right hip. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little support under this. Maybe. I don't know what's going on. That thing is fired up and mad at me. Okay, we're just gonna keep it bent. Oh, that's okay. And then let that leg drop out. Hey, foot. And again, you may feel a little stretch in the right hip or the injured leg hip, whatever leg you got going on. You have a little pump. And if you have a strap or a towel or a t-shirt or something, you can always wrap it around your foot and do the same thing. I just don't feel like doing that. And then let it drop to the side. Again, as much support as you need right here. Let it cross over. Chin falls to the left shoulder, the opposite shoulder. And just relax. And then we'll come back to the middle. So those are all the exercises I've been doing. It's kind of a lot in one sitting, I guess, but for the first thing in the morning. But yeah, I don't necessarily do all those at the same time, except for right now. But I'll just sprinkle them throughout my day. That's kind of how I sit and I explore. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing to kind of gain a little bit more control over my leg, to move the swelling. And like you saw earlier when I was standing up, the swelling looks pretty good. It'll kick up every now and then, especially if I'm up on it a good bit, which I've been trying not to do, but kind of inevitable sometimes because I'm a serial outside person. So I just have to go look at the outside. So I'll go watch my front door and go look outside. And it's been so hot here that it just like swells up because of the heat, you know. So there's so many reasons it could swell up, and just be mindful of what you're doing. Really try not to overdo it, try not to be up on it too much, putting too much pressure on it. We want to be able to allow it to heal, so sporadically moving it throughout the day, but trying not to be constantly up on it is your best plan of action for the first couple weeks. So yeah, that's it for today. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. But yeah, slow and steady wins a race with this kind of stuff, and that's what I really want to be talking about and emphasizing through my videos. While we may be working exercises, it is always within the means that you have, the boundaries that you have, the pain levels that you have, the flexion that you have, the extension you have. So whatever support you need, if you need to add pillows under the knee in order to be able to do whatever we're doing or sit in the positions that we're sitting in, feel free to do that. If I put a pillow under my knee and you don't need one, don't worry about it. It's moving at your own pace is just like the most important part, and meeting your body where it is. And that's what I learned. I learned so much from the time of injury up until my surgery, and getting myself back in those 5 weeks. A lot of it was just sitting with my body and seeing what it needed and meeting it where it was, and not pushing it too hard, and really focusing on relaxing and recovering. And there was some exercising in there, but it was a majority of just sitting with my knee and breathing and moving slow, and that is what maximized my recovery and made my surgery so smooth, and what I can imagine is going to make my recovery very smooth. So thank you for sitting with me. I appreciate you trusting me to guide you in this recovery process, and I just hope that we start to get to know each other a little bit better, and you guys feel comfortable putting things in the comments, like for modifications, but also if you're going through it. You know, I broke last night and I really had a hard time. My mom has been doing so much for me, and I'm so grateful for that, but I'm such an independent person that, and as I'm sure most of you guys are, if you've torn your ACL, then you're probably pretty independent, pretty tough, and enjoy running around and doing things for yourself. And so having my mom do everything for me is like, I think it's more of a point of pride maybe, and but last night I just broke, and I was just so frustrated because I don't want my mom to have to do everything for me. I want to be independent, and I want to be able to do things for myself, but I haven't been able to. And that is just part of this injury and this surgery, is you're not independent for a little while, and that could be really frustrating, and that's okay. And you can be mad about it, and you can throw a fit, and you can cry, but always make sure that you're coming back to, it's okay to rely on others. You don't always have to be independent. You will get back to independence. Just right now, in order to get back to independence, you have to rely on other people to help you and allow other people to do things for you, so that you can heal better. And people don't mind doing that. And that's why I'm so thankful for my mom, is she loves to help me. She loves to do things for me, you know, and that's just the beauty of having a good mother. And I'm so blessed for that. And but I just want you guys to be able to put things in the comments that if you're struggling with something, there's a community here, and I want to build that and make sure that everybody here is supported, because this is not an easy time, and it may look easy to some people, to onlookers, but there's a lot of emotions that come with it as well. And if we can work through it together and stay positive and focus on the recovery rather than what happened, it is helpful. But sometimes we get swamped in the what happened, and we need other people to help shine light on the good things, and just sit with us when we want to cry. And that's the beauty of community. So definitely don't hesitate to put things in the comments if you're struggling with something, if you're excited about something. If you accomplished for the first time during this video a leg lift, let's go. You know, like, we want to celebrate that too. So that's what I want to create with my YouTube videos and my recovery. I want to create a community that can cheer each other on, that can pick each other up, and push each other forward. So don't be afraid to put things in the comments about your process or what you found helpful. I've had so many people comment about things that they've found helpful, so many encouraging words, encouraging me to keep doing what I'm doing. So I love to hear that. It's been really, really just encouraging part of my process to have people so supportive of me. So I love you guys. I'm excited to see where this takes us, one day at a time, but I will see you guys in 2 days. Peace.